The time is 1:50. Hopefully this workout doesn't take more than an hour. I don't really like to go over an hour. I tend to lose concentration. I prefer an hour or a little bit less. Legs takes a little bit longer, but it's just what it is for rest times. Two warm-up sets. Now we're ready to get at it. Ugh. That was a good set. One all-out set, and move on to more of a gastrocnemius stretching calf exercise. Basically, anything that is your leg straight. This is bent, more soleus. Now I'm gonna do a leg press calf raise. Calves are warmed up, fatigued. No reason to do only 2 warm-ups on the second exercise. And I'm only gonna do 1, just to feel it out. $15 plates, now I'm gonna go up to the full stack on this, 21 plates. Feet straight, feet, knees, hip. All in line, hips tucked in. And then get it. Holy shit. Good set, good stretch, good explosive acceleration into the calf at the bottom. Pushing toes as hard as I can into this metal pad, driving hips into seat. Driving the load into the calves. I mean, that's what I'm trying to think about as I'm doing this. I'm done with this. Now it's time for incline press. So, when you set up an incline, this bench that I'm using, I can roll and I can use it for the incline dumbbell or flat. It declines, shoulder press it. But when I set it up, I gotta test it out. So I get into the position, right? This is not like a warm-up set. This is just finding out the position. So this is way too high for me. So what I do is I bring the bench forward so that, oh, I meant the other way. I push it towards the mirror so that when I get under it, now the bar is in the middle of my front delt and my nipple. I mean, that's kind of like the sweet spot for me for incline press. Let's try it again. Make sure it all feels right. And when I look back at my video, I realized that I was more to my right because I think my body's trying to compensate for my right arm or my right pec, which is a little smaller because I'm a lefty. So it's kind of trying to get under it and stay safe and rotate this way a little bit. And when I go down all the way, even though it's even, my left pec is actually getting a bigger stretch. It's stronger. And it's trying to not get as much of a stretch here because it knows it can't push as much. It can't create as much force. So I'm going to be conscious of that. I'm trying to keep my right pec as high as I can. As I press. So the chest stays high, but specifically my right pec, because that'll start to cave in a little bit when it gets hard. All right, let's go up a bit. So that was like kind of a warm-up feeler set, kind of, but there wasn't a lot of resistance. So I was just kind of moving it, making sure everything, everything's feeling all right. No pain, nothing. Like neurologically, just getting ready to, and mentally ready to like press something now, because I'm coming from calves now. So now my brain's switching to more of a chest. Like let's destroy chest now, calves are done. But this set, I can actually put some force into it. Last set before the heaviest set, 1 rep. £20 lighter than my heaviest set. It's slightly too high. I want it to be just a little bit lower. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna push it that way a little bit. So now instead of it being super up here, it's just a little bit lower because it feels a little bit, maybe a little bit too vulnerable when I'm way up high. So you want your elbows to flare out, but at some point it's a little bit, it's a little bit too much maybe. So tuck it in just a little bit. If I can get 6, I'll be happy. Pretty happy with that. Super smooth, good stretch, good contractions. Done there. That was that last one was 7. So I couldn't get, I got 6 and then like 7 and or 6.5, whatever that was. It was good though. So moving on to a fly. So if there's a couple ways you can do your chest routine. So the way I'm doing it is I'm doing a big stretch load first, and then I'm moving on to more of this peak loading contraction. Because when you're out here, sure there's a stretch, but it's not the same ripping sensation that you would get like on a press. So, and then the dip is also different than all these movements. It's more of a lower outer pec, you know, feeling fire down into lower pec, feeling this pressure down here, outer pec, stretch into this upper armpit region here. So each thing has kind of its own purpose. I wouldn't want to do incline Smith machine and then incline dumbbell press and then an incline machine. Each one has a little bit different angle. So the idea that the upper pecs, at least hopefully more of the upper pec, has been fatigued than the mid and lower. I guess that's the idea with doing the incline, and then with this it's more of a mid isolation. I mean, overall the whole thing isolation. Trying not to bend my arms so I don't get in tricep, just shoulder movement, and then just finish off and kind of merge into the shoulder press once I do the dip. Kind of merging into tricep and front delt and all that. So pre-exhaust technique would be fly first and then press, leg extension first and then squat or leg press, isolation first. That would be a pre-exhaust, but as long as you train hard and you like the routine, I think that's 99% of it. Let's just get into this one warm-up on this just to feel it out. When I'm setting this up, I keep lowering it because I want my arms to be in a straight line pretty much. Just like this. If I wanted to get more lower pec out of it and turn it into like almost a most muscular, I would push my hips forward, raise the seat up a little bit, and then I can do more of like a most muscular posing type of feel, I guess you'd call it, as you're doing it. So upper pec, I mean, you would actually push your hips back and you would actually do it like this. You're basically turning it into an incline fly. But since I kind of want just the whole thing, I'm going to have my arms just straight. And I want more of a stretch, so I'm going to take this back. Arms a little bit bent, I'm going to keep it there. Make sure your hands are even. Oh yeah, that's feeling good. As I'm doing it, I'm actually thinking most muscular, almost like I'm not using any weight. Just boom, flex. So if I stood right here, looked in the mirror, and then did one of these, that's the same feeling that I'm getting as I'm doing this fly. And as I'm pressing, I'm not thinking about pushing it. I'm actually thinking about contract my chest. Come on, contract, contract. That's what I'm thinking of. It's not about just moving the weight. Yes, it's about getting stronger and moving more weight, but you have to move it. Like, what's moving the weight? The chest should be doing the majority of the work, not the front delt or the tricep or momentum. So. Holy shit. Holy shit. Chest destruction, we call that. Pecs should be swollen, balloon-like. Whew. Sometimes you wish that the pump look is what you are most of the time. But I guess that would defeat the purpose of the pump. It would just be normal. It wouldn't feel superhuman and, you know, that invincible, euphoria feeling, which is, I think that's what we all want, and that's what we're all trying to get when we're in here. So, sometimes you just gotta stop, think about, you know, this shit is fun, man. This shit is good. You never realize that until you look back on it. You know, like when I look back at how lean I was back in like August, September, I'm like, holy shit, that was fucking sweet. But I didn't really realize it in the morning, or in the moment. But anyway, that's enough of that talk. Holy shit, that was good. Done there. Little dip action. So I was doing only 2 exercises for chest, but I just wanted to do 3. I want to do a upper chest focused, middle, lower. I mean, I guess that's kind of the idea, but the whole chest is gonna work. But I want to do one specifically for connecting to upper, then like mid, and then more of the lower pack. That's kind of how I'm thinking of it in my head, so I can get that full, swollen, thick look. I mean, that's kind of what we're all trying to get out of this, I think, you know? So, last movement for chest. Let's get at it, let's go, come on. Come on. my God, because the pecs are gonna rip off. And then you look at yourself in the mirror and you say, what the fuck? That's kind of the ritual with this type of training. Oh God. All right. Chest is fucked up. Shoulders. I'm gonna do a shoulder press, more of a front delt focused movement. I've been not doing shoulder press for a couple months, but with the idea that all the pressing stuff and the flies is enough for my front delt development. But as I'm doing all the chest movements, I'm not thinking about using my shoulders. So, I mean, imagine doing a tricep push down and not using your triceps. I mean, you're trying to connect to it. So I want to connect to my front delts. I don't want to just be like, oh yeah, the chest pressing's enough. So that's why I'm throwing in a shoulder press. Pump flex check. Shit. So it's super swollen. And the idea is to get abdominals to pop out more, keep midsection tight or have it tighten up as you diet down. And then you want this lat kind of flare as as you're walking down the beach or whatever. But you want this kind of to like, you kind of want to see that the lats are popping with a thick bicep, shoulders popping, chest canal, lower pec swoop, outer check thickness, traps hugging over. I mean, that's kind of the idea, so fuck it, we'll do shoulder press now. All right. Just a couple reps, just until I say, okay, that's enough. Any more is a waste of time. Oh my God. Okay. It's fucking heavy. Holy shit. Still good. I think that last one was 5. But they're slow, good control. 55s maybe would have been better. But still good. Negative in the last rep. Good destruction to the shoulders, triceps, upper pec. It's good. I'm gonna feel out like 1 rep. Just make sure everything feels right, getting used to the movement. And then I'm gonna go up to the full stack. I don't need any reps. I just want us to do 1 to make sure. I could just go straight into it, but I want to do 1 rep. Make sure everything feels all right. Connect a little bit. 1 set here. No partials. Oh. All right, I lied. I did a couple partials at the end, I think. It's like it gets a little bit heavier at the top, or I'm just so fatigued at that point I just can't even like get it to the top. I tried to stand up with it and kind of like squat it to the top, but the whole machine fucking moved, so I abandoned that right after I, saw the machine coming off the ground, or at least one side of it. And then I think I held like a half rep, and I just fought it, and then it crushed me to my ribs, and then I just kind of banged out a couple, trying to connect the side delt the entire time. I'm not forgetting that. So once I get to the top on each rep, I'm almost relaxing my hands and telling myself again to keep pressure into this pad and resist it on the way down. So, and then it kind of curves in. So I'm actually thinking about that. And I'm driving out and then curving up with that's kind of how I'm thinking of it in my mind. I'm not just thinking up right away. I'm thinking out, curve, and then try and get my outside of my elbow to hit the ceiling. So take that for what it is. That helps me connect to my side delt the entire time and get more out of the set. One tricep movement. Let's see how it goes. The movement that I'm choosing to do for my triceps today is the classic easy curl bar skull crusher. So, nothing else to say. Just gonna get into this shit and see how it goes. Actually, there is one thing. Go hard. Thumbless grip, all tricep, let's go. Oh, holy shit. Doing one tricep exercise. I just went, just ballistic, you know? I'm not fully locking out. I just like kind of staying in that loaded stretch position. Maybe I go up 75% of the way, but to go any more, I have to kind of get out of position, and then I gotta like reinitiate and get back into position. And I'm using this more for a stretch anyway. So if I'm gonna pick one movement only, then I'm gonna probably wanna do something that stretches the muscle a lot. This is kind of my preference, I think. And I just like I guess if we're gonna bro science it, the meat and potato exercises, the big, the bench press and the stiff leg. All the big, heavy duty, a lot of bang for your buck type of movements, I guess. I could have done the push down, but it just doesn't give me that same, I don't know what it is. I guess I could have done the push down, but I just want something that stretches my long head. Because with the dip, I'm already getting a lot of that shortening feel in the tricep, kind of like I'm almost doing a push down just with my arms to my side. But I didn't do anything that really stretches my tricep. So that's why I picked this. But my triceps were already fatigued from the dip and all the pressing I did. The dip specifically. So I just finished it off with going one all out set on this. So it's just a pure raw look at my training. Took me 1 hour. great workout. Calves were great. I am gonna do one set of just the anterior tibialis, front of your shin. If you want to grow your calves, I mean, you got three things. You got your soleus, which is done from a seated position, which is under the gastrocnemius. You have your gastrocnemius, which is a straight-legged exercise, any straight-legged exercise. You could do the regular standing calf raise machine, leg press calf raise. There's machines where you sit kind of like a 45-degree angle in a chair, and you just, if your leg is straight, that's all that matters. Doesn't matter if you're loading your spine or not. It's just what you prefer. It's all gonna train your calves. But bent leg, straight leg. Bent and straight, that's the two things for the back of your calves. The front, you got your anterior tibialis as your main muscle there. Weak muscle. What you wanna do is basically just move your toes up towards your knee and then back down. It's super weak, so you can almost do it with no weight. You can just sit like this with your heels in the ground with your feet in front of you, and then just move your toes up. If that's too easy, then you would stand on a ledge where your heels are here like this. So I'm gonna do it right there. So what I'm gonna do is stand here. Now you could do it with no weight like this, right? So my toes go down and then I'm bringing my toes up towards my face pretty much. But I'm gonna put a 20-pound dumbbell in between my feet and I'm gonna squeeze the barbell of it, have it just lay on the top of my toes, and then I'm gonna move up and down with it. It takes a little bit of time to get used to it, but once you're locked in, just kind of move it up and down until you can. Eventually, let's drop it. So I'm gonna do that and then go the classic couch talk. I think that's gonna be that could be my thing or something. I don't know. It just happens to work out. You know, it's couch here. I mean, fuck it, couch talk. Sounds perfect. So I'm gonna do this. Don't go too far down, because then you might kind of lose the dumbbell a little bit. Like here. Just kind of move it up and down. If you find it hard to do, you can just hold it, like an isometric hold, halfway. You'll get tired eventually. And once you start getting tired here, you can lean back and a couple more out. I'm gonna isometrically hold it now. Oh my God. Front of my shin's pretty pumped. You'll find it hard to walk after. That's how you know you've done it right. Oh, all right. Today's Tuesday. Had 2 pretty good sleeps after legs, so I only took 1 day off. So I trained legs on Sunday. Had a good night of rest Sunday into Monday. And then last night I slept pretty good. So felt pretty recovered. And now that's it. Damn, that was good. It's always, when you have a good workout, man, I mean, there's almost nothing better than it. The post effect is just, there's so much euphoria and invincibility. Obviously I'm not invincible, and no one's not, right? But that's the sense that you're on top of a cloud or something, you know, just floating above. Kind of sounds like I'm fucking high or something talking, but that's just how it is, you know, so. Alright, done with this. Done. So, the most hilarious part to me, is that I bought these, I bought a ring light. My oldest brother got me a box light for Christmas, but without the light, oh, let me angle this. It's not even straight, man. It looks straight, and then I sit down, I'm like, it's not fucking straight. But the most hilarious part is that it looks better when I don't use any light. Like the light on the ceiling, obviously, but it seems like if I put too much light, it like washes me out and I look fatter than I am. So from now on, I'm probably gonna use no light. I mean, I think there's a key amount of light that you need, but if you overdo the light, then I think it can do the opposite effect. Kind of like if you overhydrate. If you overhydrate, I think it can actually dehydrate you. Like why it kind of like washes out all the electrolytes and actually makes you dehydrated. It sounds weird, but that's just something I've just realized. I look back at the footage, and I mean, it looks like I'm like, that's how I look. Every other video, I'm like, when I'm doing like the incline press, I'm like, why does my arm look like there's zero fucking muscle on it? And there's like no definition. That's probably why. So I don't know. I gotta just like see how all that works. Great workout. Calves were good. The leg press calves were awesome. First time doing the entire stack on that. The press. Incline press is good. So that's a 30-pound bar. So that usually would be 185. But I did 170. It's 170 pounds and I got 6 and I missed the 7. It all depends how I do it. I always do it slow and controlled. No momentum out of the bottom, 0 bouncing. I don't pause it, but there's definitely a complete control and a chest contraction to get me out. There's 0 bouncing. I could do a lot more weight if I bounced it and I went faster. But I mean, the idea is, trying to gain muscle in the chest, not throw around weight and, at least that's for me. I just prefer, I just feel it better when I'm fully resisting and I'm using all chest the entire time. I can't do as many reps, but I think it's better, at least for me. So, I don't think, as long as you go hard, I think you can get the same out of it because the last rep is still real hard if you do as many as you can. It's still gonna be a grinder, right? But maybe not as safe potentially if you bounce it and, I do 12 reps instead, but I'm going faster and I'm bouncing a little bit. Might get the same out of it potentially because the last rep is still an all out, push as hard as I can, try and get it up. But anyway, that was great. I had it too high up on my chest to begin with. So at some point it's kind of high enough. If you go any more, it kind of doesn't seem right on the shoulder, and it's real. You have to go real slow at that stretch position, and it's just like maybe it's just kind of overdoing it potentially. So I just brought it down a little bit, and then it was more comfortable. So play around with it and see what you kind of like. As long as it's above your nipple line or nipple, like that line, I think you're right. If you're below, you're kind of turning it into more of like a power press. You're still gonna get chest out of it, obviously. But the idea is to get a little bit of elbow flare so you can get a stretch on your chest. If you're touching too low, like your stomach, upper chest, or upper stomach, for example, then that means your elbow is gonna have to come in. It's gonna be more tricep and less upper chest, I think. You're still gonna get a lot of chest no matter what. Because the two things that I would focus on is controlling the weight as much as you can, and getting a good stretch on your chest at the bottom. I think that's key thing, keeping your chest as high as possible. Oh, high. I mean, I guess you could overarch and turn it into a T-climb or regular if you arch too much. But as you're resisting on the way down, you're actually, at least for me, if I think about bringing my chest to the bar, it actually keeps the tension on my chest. If I think about bringing the bar down to my chest, my back tends to flatten out a little bit, my chest caves in, and I get less chest overall. So maybe that could work for you too. So after that, I moved on to the fly, which I go back and forth on. I didn't do a fly for like months, I don't think. But I do see the benefit in it, and I really liked it today. So I'm gonna keep that in, I think. I think I should. Dip machine, or regular dip. I used to be able to do, I think I did a 45-pound plate at one point. I mean, strapped onto me. Not at the end of my workout, maybe I did it first. Actually, I think it was last. That was like 5 years ago. I don't know how I did that. I must have been going way faster, not going down as much, not connecting to my chest, just using everything to get up. Because I'm way bigger now than I was 5 years ago. Or I'm bigger, not way bigger, but I'm bigger. It seems like almost as you get more understanding of how to connect to your muscles as you're training, not that you get weaker, but you just know how to get more out of a movement. So I just used my body weight today, but I can connect to my chest so well compared to 5 years ago that I can do less and get more out of it. So I'm overall stronger on everything, but certain movements like a dip, I can get a lot out of just my body weight. Obviously I'm going pretty deep. If I stayed a little bit above 90-degree elbow bend, then I would be able to get a lot more. And I'm going super slow. My chest is already so fatigued at that point. So side lateral machine, great. I tried to not do so many partials. I wanted to still get a full, or try to get a full negative ride at the bottom, or at the end, and then a couple partials. If I had a spotter, I would have had them help me get it to the top, but I just couldn't get it to the top anymore. It was too fatigued to get it there. I tried to squat it up, but it just wasn't gonna happen. So just a couple partials banged out, done. Oh, I did the front, the shoulder press. The shoulder press after the dip, that's right. That's good. 60 pounds each hand. It's heavy for me. It's heavy. I'm pushing as hard as I can at the bottom on every rep. It might not look like it, but I'm driving into the dumbbell as hard as I freaking can. That was good. Side lateral was great. Once I did the dip and shoulder press, my triceps were fatigued. So I was pushing, I would just like kind of flex my arm for a second, and they were already shaking. So in my head I was like, 1 set, skull crushers, all out. And that should be enough for the tricep. So I'm gonna call it done there. No. Hopefully get under 170 pounds in next couple days. My body weight went up like 2 pounds in one day. I guess that's what happens when you drench. I guess that's what happens when you sit on your couch and have the soy sauce sitting on the table next to you on like the nightstand, like it's a drink. And when you need more, you just kind of dump it on a little bit. Maybe that's gonna leave the routine. I did it once, and it wasn't even that good. So it's really just the salt that I'm looking for. I've just realized that, like, obviously the ketchup, barbecue sauce, shit's all good, you know, but it's just the salt I think I really want. So that's it.
What's the next one? Back. Yeah, back. So I did back. How long ago? I like to wait at least 7 days. I think that's kind of like the sweet spot for me, so I don't end up needing to take off like 5 days in a row. So 2 days ago was legs, and then I took 3 days off before legs. So if I backtrack it, I did legs on Sunday. I took Saturday, Friday, Thursday off, Wednesday. Wednesday, I trained back. Today's Tuesday. So I could train back on Thursday and be all right. I'm probably gonna train it either Thursday or Friday. I think that's kind of how it's gonna turn out. So until then, I'm just gonna chill, recover, upload this in a couple hours. So, what's up?